Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. We're having a little fireside chat today while we try to wrap up some of your questions about Greek theater. But before we get there, please, everybody should be going on Infinite Campus. I think I have most of the grades put in there. I've been receiving a lot of stuff late, so I'm trying as fast as I can to get stuff in. But please remember, this is all we have to grade you on in quarter three. So get the stuff in that I've been asking you for, okay? That'll make or break it, all right? And don't forget that these I've put up 4 assignments so far, just 4 little discussions that you guys had to respond to. And those count as 2 participation grades. So make sure you're responding to this stuff as well, okay? Cool. Okay, so as we begin to, I kind of work my way through some of your questions. One of the number one questions that all of you were asking for was more clarity on the Greek chorus. What's the purpose? What's the point? So a couple of things to remember as we explore this a little bit is that think about how long ago this was. Nothing like theater or the arts or movies or anything that we knew existed at this point at all. What did exist was storytelling. The art of storytelling, sitting down and the oral tradition of sharing different stories. What the Greek chorus did was they took those stories and they moved them up onto a stage and then they performed the stories. The Greek chorus's purpose was to tell the story or to comment on the story, and they always kind of worked in unison to tell the story. But remember, the biggest difference between the Greek chorus and what we know as today in modern theater was that everything was projected outward and telling a story and very heroic, versus today, people are more casual and they have a dialogue with one another when they are acting. So that's one of the big things about the Greek chorus. Okay, another big question you had. How many actors? Nope, not actors, Mrs. Walsh, because the actor isn't invented yet. How many people were in the Greek chorus? Firstly, they were always men, just the way society was back then. We all know that story. And secondly, it was usually anywhere from 12 to 50 men in the chorus. And the numbers of the Greek chorus depended on 2 things. It depended upon the story that they were telling and maybe how big or elaborate or small and intimate they wanted it to be, would be less or more. And then also it depended on how much money they had backing them. So if you had 50 people in your chorus, chances were you had more financial means. So you had a lot of backers, you had a lot of people supporting your production, you yourself might have been wealthier. If you didn't have a lot of backers, you might have had a smaller chorus. That's pretty much kind of what determines the size. Okay, the third big question you were all curious about was the masks. What was the point of the masks and why did they wear them? So the masks showed emotion. So there were all different kinds of masks. There were masks for happiness, sadness, fear, anger, sleepy, happy, whatever they might be. The chorus would change their masks in and out depending upon what part of the story they might be telling. And later on, when the actors came in with Thespis, they would also wear masks to kind of show what type of emotion they were feeling at the time. The masks were often very oversized because, remember, they were performing in front of these massive audiences in the amphitheater, as we saw in our last video. And the bigger the mask, the people way up in the back could also see what the emotion was that was going on. Fun fact of the day, today's symbol for drama, you have possibly seen it, as you can see right here, are 2 masks: tragedy, comedy, sadness, happiness. So those masks that we see today as the drama logo for, throughout the world actually came from the early days of Greek theater. To help kind of clarify, get a visual, because we're a visual society, of what this Greek chorus was, I've attached here a video that I would like to have you watch. I think you'll get a better understanding. This is a modern day version of a college performing a Greek tragedy in this Greek chorus style. And I think that you'll begin to understand it's kind of primitive compared to what we do today. But again, we're talking about the very beginning, the roots of theater, and it began in Greece in something like this.